So you want to start your first band. Maybe you're a singer or a guitar player or a drummer. Everybody always needs drummers. And you want to figure out how to find the right people to play with. We're going to talk about all that and more today. Welcome to Punk Rock 101. Welcome to episode number 1 of Punk Rock 101. This has been something I've wanted to do for quite some time, and I'm stoked to officially get it started. If you're new to the channel, my name's AJ, and my musical project is called Shakeout. This channel is about punk rock music and punk rock advice. This is where I share not only my music, but also my experiences, including what I've learned over the past 18 years, playing in bands, touring the country, running a venue, and so much more in an effort to help you on your musical journey. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please like this video and subscribe to the channel, as these videos will be weekly. So, I constantly get the question, whether it's in my TikTok comments or my Instagram DMs, of how do I start a band? So today I want to go into depth of not only a few ways of starting your first band, but also what you should be looking for in musicians once you start meeting up with some people, so that you can avoid some of the mistakes that I've made in the past. So let me take you way back to the year 2004 when I first started playing in bands. My buddy John and I met while being on the same Little League basketball team. Yes, you can meet bandmates anywhere. And we were both just starting to learn how to play our instruments. Mine was guitar, and at the time he was playing bass. After a couple months of learning together and jamming, we were actually able to line up a few gigs at various talent shows, school events, and a few other things. I'll never forget our first show. We played American Idiot by Green Day, and we also took a line from the movie Good Burger and turned it into a 3-chord punk song kind of in the style of the Ramones. Fast forward a few months and I ended up meeting another kid while at school. I think I was in 7th grade at the time, who played drums. And boom, that was my first band. The 3 of us were called Green Eggs and Mayhem. So my first band started with people that I met on a sports team and also someone that I met in school. But from there, I definitely jammed with a lot of other people when I was younger. And honestly, a lot of them didn't even play an instrument when we would start jamming. If we had a friend that was even remotely interested in playing music, we would find a spot for them. It'd be like, yo, Alex, you like Green Day? You want to play bass? Or, hey, Stephanie, you really like the Misfits. Would you want to try singing or maybe playing guitar? And a lot of my younger years just consisted of trying to play music with anyone that was down to play. Which brings me to my first point. If you are looking for people to play with, just start with your friends. Anyone can learn, especially when you're just getting started out. But let's keep it moving, because I think this next part is going to be really helpful to a lot of y'all that are trying to start your first band. Once I had a band up and running and we had a set list of songs to play, I started doing a lot of research of other bands that played in our area and also where they played. At the time, I used MySpace to find all these bands, but even today, you can use TikTok, Instagram, Google, Facebook, or if you have a local venue, just take a peek and see who's playing there. Once I started doing this, it completely opened my eyes to the fact there were a bunch of other people that were trying to do very similar things as me in my area. And this brings me to my biggest tip if you are having a hard time trying to find musicians to play with. Go to local shows. Put yourself where the musicians are and give yourself an opportunity to meet the right people. And a lot of people might say, but I don't know how to find local shows. And like I said before, it definitely takes a little bit of research. Even if you aren't in a major city, most small towns have a couple local bands or one place where live music happens. And now a lot of people will say to me, but I live in the middle of nowhere. And if that truly is the case, and there is no one in your school that's interested in playing music, there's nowhere to see any live music for hours around you, and no one in your friend group is interested in playing, then honestly, that is what the internet is for. Like I said before, you have to put yourself where the musicians are. And if that can't be in a physical space, then there's plenty of places online where they hang out. Whether it's Discord servers, Facebook groups, online forums, Twitch communities. There are so many musicians out there looking for exactly what you are looking for, guaranteed. And fortunately, with home recording becoming so much more accessible, you can write and record music with someone that lives nowhere near you. So now that we've talked a little bit about how to find bandmates, whether it's in your school, your friend group, at local shows, or even online, let's talk a little bit about what you should be looking for in a bandmate and some questions you might want to ask people once you start getting the ball rolling and jamming together. Because one thing that I can tell you about playing in a band, if you want to be fulfilled, is that you not only need to find people to play with, but you need to find the right people to play with. So first, try to consider what you want to do. What kind of music do you see yourself playing? Do you want to write your own music or perform covers or both? Is this a hobby for you, or are you trying to start something a little more serious? Do you want to perform live? How about travel or tour? These are a bunch of questions that you might want to ask yourself, honestly, before even starting a band. And quite honestly, you might not have all the answers to all these questions just yet. I know when I first started playing in bands, I definitely did not. It definitely takes a little bit of time to learn about yourself as a musician, but the more answers you have to these questions, the easier it will be to find the right musicians to play with. Because right when you start playing with someone, you'll see if you guys are kind of on the same page, which will ultimately help to reduce the amount of conflict that you'll have down the line. Because if you're trying to start a pop punk band and you meet a guitar player that only wants to play Pantera covers, probably isn't going to be the right fit. So let's recap. Starting a band is a really fun and exciting experience, but it can be super difficult when you're first starting out. If you're younger and in school, that is where I would look first. And like I said before, some of the people that you might end up playing music with might already be in your friend group and they just don't even play an instrument yet. Even if they are kind of interested, they can learn. But my biggest tip for the vast majority of musicians, even if you're not trying to start a band, is to get out to some local shows. Go meet some musicians in your area. See where the bands are already playing. Get involved. This is by far the best way to meet like-minded people, in my opinion. Get to a gig. And if all else fails, just go online. You can find tons of musicians on the internet that are looking to do the exact same thing as you. Would love to hear your thoughts on all this. Did I miss anything? Also, what should I talk about in the future? I'll be doing these episodes weekly, and I really actually hope to get some guests on pretty soon. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and again, if you could like the video and subscribe, that would mean a lot. Appreciate you. Cheers.